ये सब।
थोड़ा सा जल्दी कर लीजिए।
Mohit Gupta, sit down. Brashdham Colony,
रोल नंबर कौन सा
Ajmer.
यूपी से?
Yes, sir.
Tell us about you in 30 seconds.
So my name is Mohit Gupta and I belong to Ajmer district of Rajasthan, from where I have done my primary schooling. Thereafter I went to Kota for my higher secondary education. After that I have done my undergraduation in electrical engineering from IIT Kanpur, and post my undergrad I am preparing for civil services.
I mean, how would you like to develop the infrastructure at Ajmer
Yes, sir.
for tourists?
Yes, sir. Ajmer is, sir, a promising cultural and religious site for tourism, sir. Sir, firstly, I would like to focus on the urban planning, sir. For example, near the Dargah Sharif, there is a huge sprawl of buildings which is there, which is not really planned. So it's difficult for tourists to go over there. That would be the first thing, sir, modernizing that area. Second thing, sir, would be with regard to the connectivity. Special trains or buses or other connectivity projects could be developed so that tourists have easier access to Ajmer. Third, I would really like to focus on beautification around Anasagar Lake and Foysagar Lake, sir, which are the artificial lakes of Ajmer. So those will also attract more tourists, sir. Those would be the three things.
What is your most favorite chess opening?
Sir, I play Queen's Gambit, sir.
Queen's Gambit. Explain Queen's Gambit.
Sir, basically, it's when the white moves first, he moves the pawn in front of the queen.
When the white moves first means what? White always moves
Yes,
first.
sir. Surely, sir. So the first move is white plays the pawn in front of the queen, two squares ahead of it. That is d4, and whatever the reply of the opponent is, the second move that white plays is c4, sir.
So if you are black, I have played the
Yes.
Queen's Gambit opening. What would be your response?
Sir, if usually the opponent plays the move d4, I like to reply with d5 only, sir, moving the pawn ahead of my queen. That's my response.
One or two?
Sir, so then he will follow up with c4 idea, the Queen's Gambit idea, and I will like to follow up with e3, the moving the pawn ahead of my king, sir.
Okay. Okay, so your first choice is IAS and second is IPS.
Yes, sir.
है ना? What ails our IPS? मैं तो ये कहता हूँ कि let us abandon IPS. Let us recruit everyone at the level of constable,
Yes.
as they do it in their own country.
Yes.
Britain gave us the police system.
Yes, sir.
British, and as they do it in their own country, they recruit everyone as a constable.
Yes.
And then he rises through ranks or special reports or through competitive exams to
Yes.
he can become the chief constable also.
Yes, sir.
So why should we not do that in India? Why should you or somebody else have the privilege of getting into creamy layer or something, just because of advantage of having a good education, good economic background?
Sir, in my opinion, the system adopted in Britain is keeping in mind the condition of their country, sir. Since they are a smaller country, they require relatively smaller police workforce, and thus they can really recruit at the level of constabulary and promote them. Whereas in India, we follow a federal structure, sir. The IPS are belonging to the All India Service Cadre, All India Services, sir, while the constabulary is under the control of states usually, because it's a state subject, sir. So I think to maintain this uniformity, maintain the overall.
So a constable,
yes,
would, after certain stipulation and after certain number of years,
yes,
would become a sub-inspector,
yes,
in his state.
Yes.
And that sub-inspector, after certain number of years of service,
yes,
and completing certain qualification, would compete for an All India Police Service examination. So how does it make any difference? IPS would still remain an All India service.
Sir, I think since they are recruited and trained according to the specific requirements of the state, ensuring uniformity in the level of training as well as the capability of all the sub-inspectors would be a
But
challenge.
when they get into an IPS
Yes.
level, they would again be trained
Sir,
for the supervisory responsibilities.
Sir, but in the current model, like we recruit candidates directly for it. So I think we overall maintain a supervisory framework of that thing, sir. Like
So you are at a high pedestal, not connected with ground realities,
sir,
not knowing investigation, not knowing the realities of the ground level constable, you are living in your own glass house, 4-5 constables हैं तुम्हारे साथ में, you are a VIP everywhere, nobody, not your constables cannot approach you, and you no touch with reality.
Sir, in my own understanding, sir, requisite level of training is given to the new recruits to the IPS, sir. And even from what I have heard my seniors, they are usually given a good ground training and they are sensitized towards the issues that the state or the particular district faces, sir.
What is 4 months ground training vis-a-vis 3 years at ground and then 3 years as a sub-inspector?
So surely their inputs, the sub-inspector's inputs and the...
All right. Chalo.
You are working somewhere?
No, sir. Right now I'm not working, sir.
When you completed your BTech?
Sir, can you repeat it, please?
Sorry?
Can you repeat it, please?
When you completed your BTech?
Sir, in 2022 I graduated, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Since that you are this
Yes,
preparing for. This is your first attempt.
Yes, sir. This is my
You have taken PSIR?
No, sir. My optional is sociology, sir.
Sociology. Okay. So you did from mechanical, na?
Sir, electrical engineering.
Electrical. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So how do you use this electrical engineering into the civil services?
Sir, I think there are two sides to it, sir. Like the basic training which makes us objectives and help us do cost benefit analysis and deal any situation analytically, sir. That is the basic scientific training that I have received. But if we go into the specifics of electrical engineering, I think the world ahead will be shaped by electrical engineering, sir. For example,
but do you not think that IIT Kanpur is a very big thing?
Yes,
it is
sir.
not less than any civil servant.
Sir, IIT Kanpur is
Everybody has dreamed to this admission in IIT Kanpur and IIT Mumbai.
Yes, sir.
And you are going to leave this job. Why?
Sir, my alma mater definitely is doing wonderful work in all the fields, sir, including engineering field. But apart from that, it has also trained us
Suppose you will be selected in Indian Postal Service, what will you do? Suppose you will be selected in Indian Audit and Service, what will be the use of this? We are talking about IAS and IPS.
Yes, sir.
Everybody is not, get this thing.
So that's true, sir.
Yeah.
But then again, I think
there are so many services in civil services.
Yes, sir.
Class 2 also, we are not talking about class 2.
Yes, sir. Sir, though my
So
aim
you are not vesting your this caliber.
Sir, I would like to differ on this, sir, because I think the bureaucracy, since it operates at all scales, sir, whether it be it any service, sir, they are contributing to the cause of the nation, sir. And this is what primarily drives me, sir. Whether I am in any service, be it IAS, IPS, or even the postal services, sir, I will really use my background, my analytical knowledge, and my...
And as an Indian engineering service, like you got the railway.
Yes, sir.
And if you got the railway,
Yes.
the promotion and everything is better than all these things. And if suppose you will selected for the railway traffic service, railway count service.
Yes, sir.
Although now they are amalgamated.
Yes.
But you can achieve the rank of this chairman railway board.
Sir.
So you just think over it.
Yes.
You will give your services in a very this better way, and what you have a plan to serve this nation and the people of this country,
Yes.
that will be better way.
Sir, I think...
Just think over it.
Yes, sir. Definitely, sir. If I am able to use my engineering capabilities, maybe my subject domain expertise might come in. For example, the electrical engineering expertise or the abilities with mathematics or to deal with the engineering aspects of it. But otherwise also, sir, I believe that if I get any service, if I am posted in any department or I get any allotted any particular service, sir, I would try my best to learn the skills of it, because I really think, sir, an efficient bureaucracy is the one which scripts the path of the nation, sir. And in any capability, I will be ready to do that, sir.
You have taken the PSIR.
Sir.
Sociology.
Yes, sir. Sociology.
Okay. So we were talking about the Varna Vyavastha.
Yes, sir. Sir, Varna Vyavastha was basically the fourfold classification in our of our society, sir. Basically, there were Brahmans, there were Kshatriyas.
No, I know.
Yes, sir.
So, where you got this Varna Vyavastha? In which text or when? Which era?
Yes, sir. It's in the Purushukta hymn of the Rig Veda, sir. Purushukta hymn, sir. So of the Rig Veda, but it's believed that it was added in the later Vedic age, sir. I think it's the Mandala 10, which was later added to the Rig Veda, and it was not in the initial.
Then the Shudra,
Yes, sir.
isn't it?
Yes.
Which article of the constitution they have been put?
Sir, with regard to the reservation you are asking?
Of course, you
yes,
are
sir.
talking
So-
in that context.
Yes, sir. So Article 15 and 16, sir, talks about making special provisions for the socially and economically backward classes, sir. And under Article 15, subclause 4 and 16 subclause 4, such reservations.
16 subclass 4,
Yes.
talking about the backward classes.
Yes.
So the backward means this Dalit, OBC, SC, ST. What is this backward?
Sir, I
What
think.
do you know about the backward? When it was included in the constitution? And the scheduled caste are separate from this 16.4.
Sir, I would need to read the history of Article 16.4. I'm not aware of the evolution, sir. But in my understanding, the parameter of backwardness is social and educational backwardness.
Have you heard about the Golmech conference where the Dr. Ambedkar has participated?
Sir, roundtable conference
Yeah.
of, yes, 1930.
So what he has achieved? 3 things: political reservation,
Yes, sir.
and the services reservation,
Yes.
and untouchability.
Okay, sir. I'll read about it, sir. I'll revise on it.
So
Sir.
you are not. So what do you know about the ashram vyavastha?
Sir, basically the life of any individual, particularly the man, is divided into the 4 ashramas. So he started with Brahmacharya ashram, then he enters the Grihastha ashram, then he enters the Vanprastha ashram, and lastly the Sannyas ashram. Usually an ashram's duration is of 25 years, sir.
And what is the Adi Shankaracharya has taught?
Sir, sir, I'm not aware of.
What was the controversy of the Ram Mandir Pran Pratishtha?
Sir, there were 2
What
Shankara.
was the view of the Shankaracharya?
Sir,
Why the Shankaracharya has not been done the Pran Pratishtha?
Sir, from what I have read and understood, I think there were 2 Shankaracharyas who were objecting that Pran Pratishtha should not happen in an incomplete temple, sir. That was their objection in my understanding, sir.
According to Sanatan religion.
Okay, sir.
But you tell me, because you are the...
Sir, like what I have read in the newspapers was this thing that there were 2 Shankaracharyas who were raising objections that in any incomplete temple, the deity cannot reside. So the Pran Pratishthan ceremony is a politically more charged ceremony rather than being a religious one. So that's my understanding, sir, on this.
Okay. Suppose you are a superintendent of police of a district,
Yes.
isn't it? And there is a serious law and order position arises,
Yes.
and you have a limited forces. So
Yes.
what will you, how do you handle the situation?
Sir, my first focus would be to identify the hotspots at which.
But you have no time.
Sir, I would rely on the informants, sir, the local constabulary and even the local informants who would, through whom we can identify the hotspot at which this violence is taking place, sir. And since the force is very less, sir, we can use technology, sir, to our advantage. For example, if there is any information that we want to convey, we can use the digital channels, sir. We can also engage with the media personnel, the local media personnel and the local news channel to give out a warning that any kind of riot.
Have you gone through the problem of Haldwani yesterday?
Yes, sir. I have read the article about it, sir.
So suppose you are a superintendent of police of Nainital,
Yes.
and that comes under your jurisdiction.
Yes, sir.
So how do you prevented this action? What they have done it?
Sir, on the prevention front, sir, but like what I read was that there were various police personnel that was injured at the spot. So my first step would be to provide assistance to them, sir. Second would be to ensure that the curfew which has been imposed in the Haldwani, sir, that is followed, and there is no rioter who who can ignite such antisocial.
No, unless until you will not shoot and sight and unless until you can't impose anything.
Sir, I think even the fear associated with this word shoot and sight, if we spread the word that there are such orders, I think that will only be, even that thing only will be preventive, sir. We necessarily need not engage such forceful action on ground. If there is clear communication in this regard that any rioter, if he engages in disturbing the law and order, he will be arrested and certain harsh actions can be taken, I think people will themselves deter from such activities.
Mohit,
Yes, sir.
seems you are an avid cricket lover.
Yes, sir.
What was the last match you watched?
Sir, it was the latest, like I watched the highlights of the latest India versus England test match which is going on, sir.
What about Under-19 World Cup?
Yes, sir, I watched the highlights of the semi-final which India won and Australia won, sir. I watched their highlights.
So, do you plan to watch India versus Australia final, Under-19 final?
Sir, with regard to the time constraint, I won't be watching.
So, but you have written watching cricket as your hobby.
Sir, if my interview was a bit later, I would have considered it.
When is your interview?
Sir, it's on 1st March, sir. So, I
So
think
the final is in I think 2 or 3 days.
yes, sir.
All right. What is difference between duck and golden duck?
Sir, the term duck is about the batsman getting out on the score of 0, but golden duck signifies that batsman has gotten out on the very first ball, sir.
All right. Very good. So what is that? In sociology, there is a debate between G.S. Ghure
Yes,
and
sir.
Verrier Elvin.
Yes, sir.
What is this debate?
Sir, it's basically with regard to the tribal, sir. The assimilationist versus integrationist debate of the assimilationist versus isolationist view of Ghure and Elvin, sir. Since Elvin was basically influenced by the British views, so he said that to relieve the problems of tribal, we should isolate them, and that in turn would result. And he also suggested making tribal zoos or tribal sanctuaries in this regard, so that there is no external disturbance, there is no non-tribal influence for them. Whereas G.S. Ghure believed that caste and tribe exist along a continuum, that he talks about Jati and Jana continuum, sir. So he said that tribes are an integral part of Indian society and they should be assimilated into the mainstream society. That was his view, sir.
No, what was his principal argument?
Sir, his principle, sir, as far as I know, he believed that tribes were the original livers on the land, sir.
No, he said that tribals are backward Hindus.
Backward Hindus, yes, sir. That
So
he-
what is the difference between integration
Yes, sir.
and assimilation?
Sir, assimilation talks about completely assimilating those groups in the mainstream, sir, whereas integration balances this debate of autonomy and assimilation, sir. What the integrationist perspective, it respects the political and cultural autonomy of the tribals, while at the same time it tries to integrate them with the mainstream society so that they do not get left behind in the developmental process.
So don't you think that the fifth and sixth schedule of the Indian Constitution have isolated the tribals?
Sir, in my understanding, sir, it was very important to respect the tribal autonomy because of their different cultures and their political autonomy that they demand, sir. It has rather reposed their faith in the Indian Union, and we have been able to keep the secessionist tendencies in the Northeast under control, sir. So I think it has been an empowering move rather than a disempowering one, sir.
Have you read Mead?
Sir, Mead? Yes, sir. George Herbert Mead, I have read, sir.
So how he says that the identity and
Yes.
self, the idea of self is formed.
Sir,
Can
he
you
said.
explain his views.
Sir, basically he beautifully explains that the self and societies are twin of each other, sir. He says that the idea of self forms through the two stages, sir. That is the play stage and the game stage. So when an individual develops mind, that is, he is able to reflectively see his own actions from the viewpoint of the society, then the self develops. So that is his idea, sir. And basically he also divides self into two, I and me, sir. So I is basically the uncultured self, the natural instinct of any individual which is not trained by the society, whereas me is the cultured self, or the one which is influenced by the social views, which is reflective thinking, sir.
Compare and contrast Article 20 with Article 22. two important articles.
Yes. Sir, both are regarding the rights for detainment, sir. But Article 20 is in with regards to, sir, the rights after detainment. For example, that the person should not be tortured, sir. Sir, I'll revise these articles, sir. These are important, but
So you don't recollect.
Sir, I'm not able to recollect, sir. I'll revise on this topic, sir.
So there are again I'll ask you. I'll go back to the sociology.
Yes, sir.
What is serendipity? Serendipity.
Yes, sir. Sir, serendipity refers to a discovery by chance, sir. For example, a famous example of a serendipity was by Alexander Fleming when he discovered penicillin, sir. He was not trying to find that thing, but when you by chance stumble upon any important discovery, that is a serendipity, sir.
Is there any sociological work which was a result of serendipity? You gave me the example of medicine, but what about sociology?
Yes, sir. I would need to look for the examples. I'm not aware of any.
What is difference between social stratification
Yes.
and social hierarchy? Or can we use them interchangeably, these two terms?
Sir, stratification basically refers to the division of society into various strata or various groups, sir.
And
It's-
hierarchy?
Sir, hierarchy necessarily implies that there is a ranking in the order, sir. There could be various strata, but they could not necessarily be in a hierarchical order. For example, they could exist in a differentiated manner. If we talk about religion, sir, everyone can have different religion and we can form different strata on the same. But if we talk about caste hierarchy, we are essentially placing certain sections above the others, sir. So these are the major difference.
What is snowball sampling?
Sir, if I recollect correctly, sir, it's basically you don't. It's done when you have paucity of time and you don't have enough time to prepare a good sample set. So what you do is you encounter the first person, and through the reference of that first person, you went on to the second person. So basically, you are snowballing the process of selecting the units in our survey, sir.
Are you sure this explanation is correct?
Sir, from what I am able to recollect, sir, this was snowball sample.
Right. So there is one statement that for the sake of fostering cooperative federalism,
Yes.
the concept of all India services should be abolished.
Yes, sir.
Explain this. Do you agree with this?
Sir,
Why do we need all India services? See, in any federal country like say USA, Australia, Canada, they have only two types of services.
Yes.
One is central service for the center, and another is state service for the sake of states.
Yes.
So India is one of the only few federal countries who have all India services along with central and state services. So
Yes.
why do we have? In fact, many commissions set up by state government, many committees set up by state governments, West Bengal Memorandum, the left government, so on and so forth, they have called for its abolishing the all India services. So what is your take on it?
Sir, I think the difference between our service model and other countries' service model is the difference between the federal model that we have adopted, sir. Our federal model places importance more on the center, sir. The power with centers are there. For example, even with the case of IPS, which is responsible for maintaining law and order, in Article 356, it's explicitly the responsibility of the center to ensure that law and order in the states is not disturbed and constitutional machinery continues uninterrupted, sir. So basically, All India Service is an innovation in this regard, and I think to maintain the spirit of cooperative federalism and to ensure that there is continuity in administration and other aspects, we need these All India Services, sir.
But it has not led to cooperative federalism. It has led to frictions in center-state relations, the all India services.
So sometimes it has resulted in the friction, sir, but even in the COVID times, we saw that right from the ground level bureaucracy to the top notch of the bureaucracy, they were working in an integrated way to combat a crisis, sir. So definitely
That was an aberration. Look at the example of All India Services Rule Amendment. There was a controversy about that.
Sir, I think
Politicization of...
Yes, sir.
All right, my last question. What is asymmetrical federalism for you and how it is important? And what are the practical examples of asymmetrical federalism?
Sir,
Cite some constitutional provisions as well.
Yes. Sir, asymmetrical federalism basically refers to empowered union over the state, sir. Basically, union has more power with respect to the state. For example, under Article 3, union can... I attempt this question?
Yeah, sure.
Sir, in my understanding, it would be classified as an illegitimate child, sir, because that is not, the bond is not legally sanctioned as of now, sir.
Opposite.
Okay, sir.
It is not to be recognized, not to be seen as an illegitimate. They have taken some decisions on
I'll read
the
about
subject
it.
of live-in relationships. Race is another important area in sociology. What is it? Is it biological or is it a social construct, and how do we see it?
Sir, race as a concept originated on biological terms. It basically refers to a group of people who breed true, sir. They basically have certain biological characteristic that they pass on. Usually we see, one example of it could be the color of the skin or the breadth of the nose, sir. But of late, sociologists have constructed that the discrimination around race is more of a social construct rather than a biological
There
disability.
is also this big debate these days about caste census.
Yes, sir.
When was caste first taken in as part of census making?
Sir, I think pre-independence till 1931 it was part of the census, sir. But I'm not aware when it was first started.
So if census of 2021 has not happened,
Yes.
how we are going to do delimitation exercise in 2026?
Sir, delimitation is subject to the census in my understanding, sir. That when the new, and I, sir, even with regard to the current constitutional provisions, I think it takes into consideration the 2001 census as the population figures. But what the current dispensation is saying that once this recent census will be out, then the delimitation exercise will be carried out, sir.
It will be based on projections.
Sir, it will be based on the entire delimitation exercise will happen, in my understanding,
The
after.
census 2021 will be based on projections.
Okay, sir.
Projections have also already declared India as world's largest population country.
Yes, sir.
Is that true?
Sir, according to the United Nations population UNFPA, I'm not able to recall the full form. It has said that India has already surpassed China and become the most populous country in the world, sir.
Report had said it will surpass in November last year.
Okay, sir.
That of course talks only of mainland China,
Okay, sir.
which then is the largest before us.
Okay.
Doesn't include Macau and Hong Kong.
Okay, sir.
Chinese would like to include
Macau.
Taiwan as well.
Yes, sir. One China policy.
Okay, I think let us close the formal part of interview. I'll quickly give you some feedback on how this interaction has gone.
Yes, sir.
Your appearance is smart, you are articulate, you are able to be calm in your questions, you often smile.